I have talked about, my appearance, and I get fillers.
Make it nice and smooth for him.
Restylane, Voluma, Juvederm, I get all three. And I'm going to continue doing it. It makes me smile in the mirror. I see a pretty good looking guy. I'm just skinny, and I just want to get better. I can't take this anymore.
Still so skinny, and so that was the biggest one for me. Absolutely. I came to the doctors, and I came to Dr. Jorge. I need help. I'm scared.
Aaron Carter reveals fears that he is HIV positive as he undergoes testing on the show after confessing to drug use and weighing just 115 pounds fully clothed. Aaron Carter addresses his health concerns and fears that he could be HIV positive on the second part of his special 2-episode edition of The Doctors on Thursday. "I need help, I'm scared," says Carter in a clip from the episode obtained exclusively by DailyMail.com. The 29-year-old singer then states that his greatest fear is not being able to live. Shortly after it is revealed that he weighs just 115 pounds fully clothed, a shockingly thin weight for an adult male who is 6 feet tall. His weight is part of the reason he believes he could be HIV positive, he says, telling the show's hosts, "Because I'm so skinny, I'm still so skinny. And that was the biggest one for me." The U.S. Department of Health states that a healthy weight range for a man Carter's size is between 150 pounds and 190 pounds, making the former pop star at least 25 pounds underweight. Carter will be tested and get his results on the program Thursday. On Wednesday's episode, the troubled pop star detailed his frequent cosmetic surgeries and need for painkillers, admitting that when he cannot get a prescription he will obtain drugs illegally off the street. He discussed his constant trips to the dermatologist as well, saying, "I get fillers. Restylane, Voluma, Juvederm. I get all three, and I'm going to continue doing it. It makes me smile in the mirror." Carter's smile then quickly turned to tears, however, as he said, "I see a pretty good-looking guy, I'm just skinny." He then added, "And I just want to get better." Carter spoke about the pills he has been prescribed by his doctors as well, which include Xanax and oxycodone. "I don't mix medications, I do it to release stress of pain or angst," said Carter. He later added in his sit-down interview with the hosts of the show that he does not want to be on these pills, and wishes that he was not buying them on the street. Carter also admitted that he had been forthright with his doctor about the fact that he is obtaining them illegally, and that he has nothing to hide. "I have no problem telling exactly what it is," said Aaron. "The truth shall set you free, and my father always said that." His appearance on the program comes after a tumultuous few months during which he came out as bisexual and was charged with marijuana possession and suspicion of driving under the influence after an arrest in Georgia. There has also been concern that the singer might harm himself from members of his family and a report that police visited his home after he made multiple attempts to purchase a gun. Carter has denied all these claims and said there is nothing for fans to worry about as he continues with his tour, which will end next month. His bisexual admission caught many by surprise when he posted about his affinity for both men and women on Twitter last month. "To start off, I would like to say that I love each and every one of my fans," he wrote in the post. "There's something I'd like to say that I feel is important for myself and my identity that has been weighing on my chest for nearly half of my life," said Carter. "This doesn't bring me shame, just a weight and burden I have held onto for a long time that I would like lifted off of me. I grew up in this entertainment industry at a very young age, and when I was around 13 years old I started to find boys and girls attractive." He then confessed that he had a sexual encounter with a friend as a teenager. "There were years that went by that I thought about it, but it wasn't until I was 17 years old, after a few relationships with girls, I had an experience with a male that I had an attraction to who I also worked with and grew up with," wrote Carter. "To me, music has always been my temple. Music will always be what transcends all of us and myself. The studio has always been my safe haven. But the ultimate goal for me is to be satisfied. I never want to be a figure of disappointment." He then closed out by writing, "The best quote to sum: I've never felt as though I didn't belong. I just acted as though I did. boy George. At the time, Carter had just split with girlfriend Madison Parker. The singer also famously dated by Hilary Duff and Lindsay Lohan, causing a feud between the two when he supposedly cheated on the former with the latter, or vice versa, depending on who is telling the story. In 2014, Carter said that Duff was the love of his life in an interview, and he regretted his behavior as a teenager. It was around the time of his split with Duff that Carter's almost decade-long career began to falter, with the youngster having already released 4 hit albums by that point and appeared in a number of television and film roles, most notable Seventh Heaven. He made a brief comeback in 2009 thanks to his role on Dancing with the Stars, and 2 years later checked himself into rehab at the Betty Ford Clinic. 2 years after that, in 2013, Carter filed for bankruptcy. He is not the only member of his family to struggle with addiction, and his older brother Nick also appeared on The Doctors to discuss his battles with alcohol and drugs back in 2013 after the release of his memoir Facing the Music. Nick, whose success as part of the Backstreet Boys played a large role in launching his brother's career, said that it was hard to avoid the vices of drugs and alcohol while in the music industry. "You can get whatever you want in this industry. And it's a vicious cycle," explained Nick. "And if you don't have a good support system, and good family and good friends, you can fall into that hole." He went on to say that he gave up smoking, drinking and drugs after learning he had a cardiomyopathy, which is a disease of the heart muscle that can lead to heart failure. Nick and Aaron's sister Leslie died at the age of 25 of a suspected overdose.